Right, so as we know, the other day, Black Ops 6, the trailer just got announced and it will be on screen for, to watch in the background. I'm not going to have any audio just for copyright reasons. It's received a lot of attention the last few days, and obviously, it's been received very well on YouTube. People were talking about it on Twitter a lot and a lot of stuff like that. And, when I watched it myself, I was going to react to it, make a video about it because obviously the return of Black Ops, it's one of my favorite COD series of all time, and why not? Why not? It's been 2 years. I thought I'd make something, but then I noticed like some videos were coming out from like other creators, and they were just more so just kind of like pushing forward on that narrative of oh my god, it's Call of Duty. Oh my god, it's Call of Duty. But nobody's sat there and looked at like things that have gone on before. Like, yes, it's a gameplay trailer. Yes, we get the return of zombies. Yes, multiplayer looks good. Yes, this movement looks good. They've done an entire keynote about it. But one person that I've been watching and that I've really kind of just like understood where he's coming from is Mr. Ruffle Waffles Milo. And he's made two videos as of recent that like a lot of people are kind of like, they're agreeing with him and they're not agreeing with him. And a lot of people are tending to like not agree with him because some of the points he's making. And I feel that he's kind of right in a way because as we're watching the trailer now, it looks cool. We're in Black Ops, but um, zombies, man. What are we gonna do? Zombies is coming out later this year, and it's pretty much as dead as a franchise as it's ever been. Like people are struggling to make content on it. People have been struggling to make content on it for years now, and when you do talk about the content, it's all just the same recycled stuff. We're watching, you know, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, and these games have been out for the best part of like over a decade now. These games have been out for so long that like when you want to play them, you don't want to play them just because they are so beaten to the ground. You've seen everything, they've done everything, we're getting Origins round 100s, like just world records and stuff like that, always being like redone and redone and redone and redone. And like nobody wants to play the new ones like Black Ops 4, Cold War. Yes, Cold War was for me, a fairly decent COD, but it's not a game that wants to be seen as part of the franchise to the community because they took away the storyline. You took away the storyline, put operators in, and once Cold War had disappeared, nobody then wanted to play it again. We moved on to Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and like all of the others that have come out in due time. But nobody's been wanting to make a staple on it as the COD franchise. Nobody in the community wants to really go forward with it. It's like all we know is World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3. That's if you said to people, what do you know about zombies? They would come to you and go, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, World at War. And I think it's for good reason. It's because they actually got right what was right about a Call of Duty game and a zombies game. And none of the others did. They took a formula that was obviously good and they just shredded it. They completely tore it apart, and nobody wanted to really play them. When they were out, they were good. When the game cycle ended, nobody really wanted to play it anymore. I can't tell you the last time I booted up Black Ops like Black Ops 4. I think I've played that game twice. Like I hate Black Ops 4. I've played it twice. I cannot stand it. Vanguard Zombies, absolute flop. MW3 Zombies, I played it for the free weekend and I thought it was horrible. Infinity Ward, they make better multiplayer than they do, co-op modes, and that's just known. It's just everybody knows that. They're known for their multiplayer and their campaigns. They're not known for Spec Ops. You play Spec Ops, it was good back in Modern Warfare 2, but nobody really plays it now. But anyway, so Milo came out of a video. Let me get up on screen. So Milo made this video here. This could be bad for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So in the video, he outlines there are significant problems facing obviously Black Ops 6, which, he says we need to be aware of. And if we just kind of like look at the whiteboard. This could be bad for Black Ops 6 Zombies, right? So he goes over like Black Ops 4, Vanguard, Modern Warfare 3, and then he starts to highlight Black Ops 6, and then, the good wise and the bad wise. The elephant in the room of, we got Deri's Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3, and then he has a theory that obviously is like a theory that is obviously confirmed. So if we just go ahead a little bit, obviously Black Ops 4 on PC. What we got? We got PC crashing and forced online only on PC, which at the time, everybody hated. It was it was a game that nobody, and like I say, it's a game that I don't like. I don't like Black Ops 4, and that's for a very good reason. I felt like it wasn't part of this series that we knew. It was an amalgamation of just everything that we loved put into a ball, squeezed together, and just thrown to the side. And they were like, "We're gonna do this our way. We're not gonna improve on what we've done before. We've got a storyline that everybody loves. We've got characters that everybody loves. You know, we got assets that all they have to do is just import it into the Black Ops 4 engine and just work with it that way. But we had PC crashing and forced online on PC, which killed it for a lot of people. And like uh, as he goes on, Vanguard Zombies, they had to migrate to a new engine, and I feel like it was pretty evident because Black Ops 4 crashed a lot because the engine that they had, they were kind of like reaching that end limit of what you can put into an engine before it starts crashing. If we look at like Apex, for example, Apex has a very heavily modified source engine, and a lot of people are getting crashes. The audio sometimes doesn't work. There's so much that goes on, and like they say, they have modified that engine a lot. And by the time it hit Black Ops 4, you're getting to the point now where it was like, you're facing a point where you're almost making the game unplayable because what you want to achieve you can't achieve. So then obviously you've got to then go, okay, it's time to get a new engine. And they did that in Vanguard. They had a new engine, and yeah, they didn't have a lot of time. He makes a point about advanced warfare, kicked for being AFK. You couldn't pause solo in Vanguard, otherwise that was like, I think you could do it later on, but there was like issues for it. And if you were waiting for like round skips, if you just let your controller sit for like 30 seconds, you'd be kicked from the game. And like I say, everybody hated that. Then we go over to Modern Warfare 3, online only, no solo experience, and we're noticing that is an ongoing trend with the games coming out. We're seeing a lot of games that are getting sunset because they're going, oh yeah, it's going to be this huge online only, no solo experience sort of thing. It has to be on a server. And then because they're spending thousands and thousands and thousands a day on servers, but nobody's wanting to play the game, they have to obviously shut the game down because nobody's playing it. And if this is in Black Ops 6 Zombies, we're going to see it where in 5, 6, 7 years from now, you're able to play World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, maybe Black Ops 4. I don't know if there were sunset servers that are like needed for like to play the game. And obviously, like, nobody played Vanguard. It is what it is. Nobody really talks about Sledgehammer's implementations of zombies because it's not seen as canon in the Activision storyline, and ideally that's what we all care about. I was going back, no solo experience, and it was online only, which is a huge problem. It was a huge problem from the get go, and for a lot of people, it killed it because I like to play solo a lot of the time. One, because I have no friends. Two, I just find that the pausing feature is so convenient. Like, sometimes you need to go to the toilet. Sometimes you need to get something to eat. You have something to do. There's like certain stuff, and you just want to get back to the game in a couple hours. Like say if you want to pause it for an hour or half an hour, 15 minutes, just to go do something and then come back. You can't do that. You have to quit the game and then restart from round one. And then even then you've got like, your 3 zones, and then you've got like kind of exfil. It was logistically a bit of a nightmare, and like obviously, yeah, as he says there, servers are your daddy. Like, you know, you're at the mercy of the server. If that server decides to crash, because obviously we had the whole like turret problems and everything like that. If the server got overloaded, you're fucked. You know, you can't really play the game as you want to because people are ruining the experience for you. Whereas if you just had solo, that would be fine. You know, that would be fine. And he makes loads of valid points. I advise you guys go watch the video. It is a fantastic watch. No, absolutely fantastic watch. And, you know, if we go forward, you know, he makes a point about continuous internet connection being required, and this is for all modes, including the campaign. And he highlights it in red because obviously it's a bad thing, but he does make some good points about it, which obviously is very, very valid, you know. But it is stupid that there has to be a continuous internet connection required. You know, when we got to like Black Ops 3, we started having like texture streaming from having a continuous internet connection required. You could play the game, but sometimes on consoles you couldn't play it on a high definition sort of like format. You know, you couldn't play it in high definition because the texture streaming wouldn't work, so your game would look like shit. You know, like, but that is just the experience when you play it on like an older generation console. You know, you're pushing the boundaries. You know, it's like we've all seen the memes of like last gen Richtofen, you know, and that's what happens when you have an older console and say you take it off the internet, it will revert to that because you're at the mercy of the servers, you know. Which yeah, he makes some good points about obviously a continuous internet connection being required, high quality visuals, lower file size. At that 310 gigabytes, it came out that obviously that was not the game's file size. They don't know what the game's file size is yet. We've obviously got the beta to go, and the beta is going to be 100 gigs as we know it. Like, it's going to be a big game. We all know it's going to be a big game. But yeah, like high quality visuals and lower file sizes for continuous internet connection because they can data stream it to you. Most people have a decent internet connection, but I can understand in countries where they don't have that sort of internet connection where it could be the Achilles heel of their experience, and they're limiting themselves in that sort of regard where because of having no solo experience or an offline experience, say, you know, say your internet goes down or, you know, something happens. Say something happens and you're only able to, you want to play Black Ops 6 and you want to play it on a console and you have to have a continuous internet connection required. You can't play that game, you know? What games do you want to play? You just want to play Black Ops 6. Say the only game you own is Black Ops 6, right? You've gone out, you've bought a console. Say out you go out, you buy a PS5 or an Xbox Series X or S, whatever it is, and say you're moving into a new place, right? And your internet service provider is like, hey, sorry, you know, we can't kind of come to you for another like month and a half. And say you don't have a phone that has a big enough data connection. Say you only have like 50 gigabytes of data, which has to last you throughout the month on your mobile plan, right? So you have no internet and you don't know your neighbors well enough. Loads of scenarios that could mean that you're not able to connect to it. You just want to put in a disc, right? You want to put in a disc, you want to play the game, right? Say you're not able to play the game for 2 months. That for a lot of people is going to kill a lot of experiences. Now I understand patches, stuff like that, but there should always be the option to play offline. It doesn't matter what game you play, you should be able to play offline. The fact that games have to have the online DRM rule is it will kill gaming. It will kill gaming in the long run. In years from now, yes, everything's going to be online, but when you can't get online, when everything's down, it is going to fundamentally ruin it. It's like sometimes I just want to play a mobile game, right? I'll play a mobile game on my phone. And because you have to have an internet connection required just to play an idle game, why just save it to my device and then when I get an internet connection, send it back up to the cloud? Like, why can't I do that? You know, he does make some other points. Let's go a bit further ahead. Server compute. So he does say that, like, obviously with older consoles, you can offload a lot of that performance of the game from the textures itself to the servers, and these servers are like massively more powerful than like your typical console will ever be. You know, they're miles more powerful than your console will ever be, and it's to such a degree of, you know, these consoles will never be as powerful as servers in our lifetime. Like, look at AWS, that's Amazon Web Services. Look at like IBM, all these massive global companies that have these servers. These servers will be 10 times faster than computers will ever get in the next 5 to 10 years for home use. So offloading a lot of power to the server is a fantastic idea, and I get that. I get that. But at the same time, we should just be able to suck up and it. We pay the price for not having the internet connection. If the game runs at 30 frames a second, most people don't. Not being funny, most players that don't take the game as seriously. So like people that aren't like, pro players, uh, prosumer players. Like I know a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, it looks good, it runs good. But a lot of people, like millions of people, are just going to want to play the game. They don't care if it's 30 or 60 frames a second. They care that the game plays. That's all they want to do. They just want to play the game. And like I understand that, and like it's down to money at the end of the day, because they know all the time they're online they can spend money, but some people don't have that option. They just want to play the game. And like understanding that the server compute option is there, it could be there if you were connected to the internet, is fine. But give us a solo experience. We want a solo experience where we can pause. And sometimes we just want to play offline. We don't want to be sunset in 7 to 8 years, Maybe in a couple of years they'll go, oh yeah, game's coming out down a little bit. We'll give you the option. That's fine. Maybe in a few years. That's fine. You know. Man, he is making so much money off of adverts from me. This is crazy. So he then obviously explains all the theory, yada yada yada. Like I say, go watch the video. It's a half-hour long video. Yeah, as he says there, give me more money, remember operators. That's why you need a continuous internet connection. And they've kind of already got me hooked. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm immune to criticism, I see the operators in the Vault Edition, and I want those operators in the Vault Edition because they look cool. You got Brutus and you have Klaus, two very notable characters in the Call of Duty Zombies franchise, and I like that. I want to use them in my experience. So, like, yes, they've got me with the operators in the Vault Edition, but at the same time, continuous internet connection required is all fundamentally around money. It's all they want from us. Like, you know, as he says here, we're going down now, elephant in the room, communications. And he makes the point that when Jason Blundell left Treyarch, the communication between the community and zombies and that whole team it took a nosedive. It took a massive nosedive and it went right downhill. And it sucked. It sucked because we had a good game and then all of a sudden Treyarch thought they knew what we wanted without asking us what we wanted. And then when they flew the creators out there that were like critical of what they were doing, they would then be like, oh, sorry, no, you can't work with us anymore. It's like, well, why? It's like Milo burned his bridges back in, I think it was like Black Ops 3. So Milo was critical of Call of Duty back in, Black Ops 3. And, nobody from Treyarch or Activision talks to him anymore because he had valid criticisms that nobody wanted to address or talk to him about. And they would rather just be like, it's not good for us, we'll cut it off. And, at the end of the day, if you can't take criticism on your own game from people that matter the most because they are the voice of the community. I'm not being funny. Milo's got nearly 2 million subs. He's got nearly 2 million subs, and he's at that point where he kind of matters. I would rather have someone in the community that doesn't just bootlick that doesn't bootlick the devs. Nobody should be immune to criticism. I won't be immune to criticism, especially when I put this video out. I won't be immune to criticism. I know people will go into the comments and be like, oh, well, this, well, that. Obviously, I've not uploaded in 2 years. I'm not expecting anyone to comment. If you do comment, I'll happily discuss it out. But, people in the comments, people in the comments have been criticising Milo for the way that he's been talking about it. But no, but it's been a common trend for years, and people are just playing ignorant. And like it goes on into the next video that he talks about, you know, it's like if we skip over, you know, the elephant in the room, all he talks about is Deriz, where is it? Coming down here. Deriz was just the map Nightfire. Let's see if he's got a little screenshot of it. Yeah, so Nightfire is just a multiplayer map from so Nightfire is just a multiplayer map from World at War that was just repurposed. It was mapped over and then things were changed, which is good. We like that. We like that they can take a map and take a spin on it and morph it to a mode. It's like we were meant to get Kino de Toten in World of War, but they moved it to Black Ops 1. Best decision they ever made. Not gonna lie, it was probably one of the better choices they made because that map was the staple. They knew it was a good map. They kept it, you know. But then in Vanguard, everything was just kind of like, oh, you like that? Well, we're just going to slap it in and just like sprinkle things on it. We're not going to like, you know, remodel it. We're not going to remap it. We're not going to add this. We're not going to add that. It's just, hey, here's that map from multiplayer. Oh, look, you know, you can go down the stairs and this is here and this is here. You know, it's all the same. You know, it's like going to a restaurant, right? And say that your bolognese, right? You order a bolognese, right? You go to a nice fancy Italian restaurant, right? And you go, yes, I'll have cheese on that. And they come over and just go, well, and you're like, where's the rest of it? You know, you're like, oh, can I have some more, please? And they just go, no. That's basically what Vanguard have done. They've basically gone, oh yeah, here's your map, here's your bolognese, and then here's the cheese. Oh, but we're not going to put much cheese on it because we know you want more cheese, but we're not going to give you more cheese, even though you've asked for it. And like, you know, in Vanguard, that's what we wanted. We wanted maps where it had a twist to it. It was more added to it, but it just didn't. And that's why, like, fundamentally, it flopped. Modern Warfare 3, it's basically just Warzone with zombies. Nobody really gives a shit about that. Like, I didn't really find it entertaining. It was fun to snipe zombies across the map. Don't get me wrong, that was fun. But we learned from Cold War that in Outbreak, it was just. It wasn't quite there. The implementation wasn't quite there. It was either, you know, you loved it or you hated it. It was very Marmite. You either loved it or you hated it, and there was like that no in between. I know some people that will just exclusively play Outbreak, and they love it. They love Outbreak, and that's fine. You know, you do you. That's yours. But the majority of people that I know that play zombies for round-based modes. You can have them both in one, but they need to learn to coexist. And when you try forcing a whole entire community that likes one mode, that you've got this given mode, and you try forcing them onto another mode, nobody's gonna fucking play it. Nobody's gonna play it. You know, if they turn around tomorrow and was like, you're not going to play any more round based, it's just Outbreak, I would not play Black Ops 6. I don't care if the multiplayer is the best fucking multiplayer on earth. I would not play that because they've given us a promise and they were like, no, it's Outbreak only. I'd be like, no, I'm not playing the game. You know, I don't want to play the game because it's not something I want to play, you know, and they need to give the people what we want to play, you know. And then obviously he talks about his theory of, you know, another advert, Milo, Jesus. You're making more money off this video than I will, Jesus. Then obviously he goes down and he talks about, you know, he talks about the bus driver being in I think it's Liberty Falls. Yes, it's in Liberty Falls. But the problem is this is an example of what we don't want to see. Nice face, Milo. Nice face. You know, look at that. That's elegant, that is. But that's the thing, is like, we don't want a multiplayer map just repurposed for zombies. We need an experience where it's memorable. You know, like, obviously, yes, we've got new assets with, you know, with Cold War. No, sorry. We've got, you know, new assets with Black Ops 6, and that's good. The new map. But the problem is they kept, with these maps, they kept throwing operator map after operator map, and then it was like bunker map, and it was kind of like, okay, you know, you go to Black Ops 3, and you play. So it was like in Black Ops 3 with Zetsubu no Shima, you know, it was a good good premise, but it was mainly a bunker map, and you played mainly in that bunker for all your objectives. And I've noticed that was a going trend in like in Cold War. Every single map was a bunker map. You know, you played in a bunker in, you know, the first, second, third, and fourth map. You know, whereas like in, yes, I'll give Black Ops 4 some credit. In Voyage of Despair, it was kind of like, hey, what happened if the Titanic was this? You know, people like that. You know, they had a map where you're in the Colosseum. I think that was like 11 or something like that. I can't remember the name of the map, but you fought in a Colosseum. People like that. It was a new twist. It was just everything they put into the game was just too different, and people didn't know how to react. I can tell you for certain, if the Colosseum map and the Titanic map had the original HUD from Black Ops 3, everyone would be playing that game. Everyone would be playing that game. You know, you keep the normal perks, you keep the normal grenades. You know, yes, update the weapons for the era that you're in. But when you update too much and you change too much, people don't like that. People don't want to see that. You know, and like, you know, he goes on and he carries on going, and that's fair enough. But we'll go to the next video. Obviously, let me move my camera. Hello, Milo. I'm down here with you now. A tweet came out from Modern Warzone saying Black Ops 6 is already breaking records. Black Ops 6 now has the most viewed Black Ops 6 has now wait. They didn't even get the grammar right on this. Black Ops 6 now has the most viewed Call of Duty trailer of all time with it is the now most viewed Call of Duty trailer. So it's now the most viewed Call of Duty trailer of all time with 49 million views in just 2 days. Obviously, the previous record held was held by Infinite Warfare, which went viral for being the worst received COD of all time. And obviously, like, you know, 46 million views 8 years ago, and that for me is a hard pill to swallow as well. 8 years ago, you know. And then he says about this music video, the Banda MS-141, right? Yeah, and he says here not to be a buzzkill, but much of these is paid views, no longer a comparable stat like it was once years ago. And years ago, you'd look at the amount of like buzz, you know, like all these other games are creating, and you'd see it and you'd be like, damn, you know, this is going to be a good game. People are really hyped for it. Whereas now, I can't sit there and take, you know, I can't take these sorts of numbers seriously because, you know, he says these are paid views, not longer a comparable stat like it once years ago, right? And then people are like, where is it? Yep, he's being negative. I'm noticing it now. This isn't a negative statement. And I know I'm like, people are going to be like, oh, you're dick riding Milo here. He has a point. It's not a negative statement. It's a factual statement. When you look at the aspect of the fact that YouTube is a platform where you can post videos and you can advertise on it. You know, when he's not saying he's not saying it's being viewed, right? He's not saying that the trailer's being viewed. What he's saying is on the day that Black Ops 6 came out, Treyarch, Activision, whoever the fuck advertisers went, yep, we're going to run this as an advert. So everyone that was on YouTube on that day would get that advert. And because, yes, it's an advert, it still counts as a view. If I turned this video into an advert and paid for adverts to be on this video, you would see a view jump because you're paying for the views. It's not view botting. View botting is different. View botting is against YouTube's terms of service, right? So I don't think a massive company would view bot a video just to get it trending. You know, they're just putting it in front of people's faces, and I can guarantee you hundreds of millions of people have seen the Black Ops 6 reveal trailer now, you know, because it's been all over Twitter, it's been all over fucking YouTube, you know. I've seen it on the television, you know, like everyone's seen it on TV, everyone's seen it, you know. You go through Instagram, it's there. You go through Threads, you know, it's all there. You're always gonna see it. And like he says, oh yeah, I don't want to have this narrative that people are negative, you know. And like he even says here, so where was that tweet? Mitch Jacobs actually used to work for Activision, and he even said that yes, a lot of these views are paid for. There are a lot of paid views. And he's correct. You know, if it comes from the horse's mouth directly from someone that used to work there, then yes, it is true. It is 100% true that, you know, his comment is not negative, it is factual. I can guarantee you, you know, in that amount of time, nobody's seen that trailer that many times. And he makes the point that when you go through, look at the amount of views that some videos are getting. They're 7.7 million subs, right? So if we take off of the fact that, like, you know, they've got all these subscribers, right? You know, anyone with that amount of subscribers, if you made good content, you would make very, 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 very consistent views on your video. But, you know, 24k views, 68k views, 35, obviously 19 million, but that's obviously the truth lies. That was when it actually dropped. So people are like, oh my God, we're gassed about that. But there's such a massive, you know, there's such a massive disparity. It's like, you know, Wake Up Rushmore, The Truth Lies, 2.7 million views. But then you've got all these sort of like views in between. And he even pointed out here, dropping into Dubai, it's not a, he goes on and expands upon this point. You know, you look and you think, oh yeah, you know, why do all these videos don't have these views? But then this video, this solo video has the views. You know, he goes on and he talks about it. And it's an advert. You know, you have a bunch of influencers that are literally just dropping into Dubai. That's literally all they're doing. You know, they jump out of an airplane into Dubai and they play COD on a rooftop for a bit. That's all they do. It's not a, hey, check this out. Look at this new feature we're bringing to the game. Look at this new map. It's an advertisement. And he shows it on a stat, which it's from a thing Mr. Beast makes. There you go, over in this corner. And you just see there's a little spike there and it flatlines. And then all of a sudden, bang, there's a lot of views. You know, there's a lot of views in a short amount of time. That's not view buying. It's because Activision have gone, hey, we've kind of paid for all these influencers to come to us. You know, we've paid for influencers to come to us. We've given them an experience, but this video is kind of tanking. We kind of need to make sure that, you know, these guys are relevant. You know, so bang, you know, 100, like, you know, 1 million views. It's not that hard to buy 1 million views. It costs money. It's not that hard, you know. And I guarantee some people would see it in front of it, and you skip in 5 seconds, you're just going to see it and go, oh yeah, skip. Oh yeah, skip. You know, a lot of people are going to see that and they're just going to go, oh yeah, skip. You know, and you know it's true because he even points out there that this line, so after 6 days, made a massive spike, and that's the advertising campaign run. So they probably run it over the space of about a week, and then over that that period of time where it's 1.1 million views, right? He goes ahead just a little bit. He goes ahead just a little bit, wherever it is. He goes ahead just a little bit, and there's not even a 100k jump in between. Like, you know, if there was a 100k jump in between, you know, you're looking there. You know, I think it's like 6,000 views in the space of 2 months. You know, I think it's 6 to 8,000 views in the space of a few months, and you know, it kind of reinforces his point that, you know, they do pay for views, and I don't want it to be seen in a negative light. And it's like, yeah, here's a good example. Look at you got the Rockstar games, Grand Theft Auto 5, right? No, Grand Theft Auto 6. Sorry, Grand Theft Auto 6. Look at the spike, right? So that initial burst there would be when it came out. Everybody's hype. But then over time, people are watching this trailer again. You know, there's small advertising campaigns being run. Yes, those are paid views, but it's not a massive spike. You know, this hype and advertising spike you see there is good. The hype is still continuing. People want to see this game, right? And obviously, it's got 11 million views, and it's got, I think he said something like nearly 1 million comments. And then obviously, if you go back and you look at the gameplay trailer, 106k views, right? And it has, I think it's under 10,000 comments. He then makes the point when he goes back to his own video, right? He goes to his own video. He has, I think he said he has a third of the comments and however many of the likes. He has an eighth of the likes and I think a third of the comments on his video, just talking about how it could be bad, right? over a video that's got 60, nearly 50 million views. I think as of speaking, it's probably got over 50 million views now. And obviously, like, yes, this does look good, but there will be paid advertising in between. You know, like I've not seen it. You know, stuff like that. And he even just talks about like his last video, and he's even saying like, if I was being negative about the game, this box would not exist. He would just be shitting on the game. You know, like I understand that, you know. Not a lot of people do. People are quick to jump on the bandwagon, you know. And it's like, you know, it's the problem is we live in a society where negativity is very infectious. People will only want to see things that are negative because negativity breeds faster than positivity. That's why when you see all these positive influencers, they've been doing it for years and years and years and years. But if I went on Twitter and made a negative comment about someone, people are then more inclined to go and look at that tweet and reply to that tweet because it's negative. It's ingrained in you. It's ingrained in the human brain to, you know, it's ingrained in the human brain to obviously be paying more attention to negative things. You know, that's why like depression is so high because when negativity breeds in your brain, it can help. It can accelerate the cause of helping depression develop. You know, like obviously nobody wants depression. Let me get out of Milo's face for a second. You know, nobody wants to have these negative thoughts, but negativity is what drives forward a lot of stuff. And as they say, you know, like, um, as they say, you know, no, there is no such thing as bad publicity, right? Because not being funny, right? Look at, look at. Well, there is such okay. So there is such thing as bad publicity, but not all bad publicity is bad publicity. You have to kind of realize that there is a lot going on in the whole world of advertising. Should we be like concerned, Milo, how not to bomb your well, you know, let's skip over that. Oh, in Milo's face again. Yeah, like, you know, it's like here's a point to prove my example. 37 things you missed in Black Ops 6 reveal. You know, I'm not feeling like I want to watch this video because I'm not that much into Black Ops 6 at the minute. I like the idea of it. I want to buy the game because of zombies, because of round-based zombies. I want to buy it because of that. That's a good advertising point is round-based is back. Everybody wants round-based. But then, you know, 62,000 views, right? Okay, so we'll go back a little bit. Brutus is back in Black Ops 6 Zombies 13 days ago, right? 13 days ago, it has less than 100k views, right? You then go forward. This could be bad for Black Ops 6, right? It has more views than the video put the day before it, and that was a gameplay reveal of zombies and stuff like that. You know, like obviously not full zombies, but like some zombies. I don't know how people make 10 to 12 minute videos of a 15-second clip. Like I don't know how they do it. But you know, this could be bad for Black Ops 6. It's negativity. You see that and you go, "Oh, I want to watch that. I want to watch that because it's negative." And he's just trying to get the point across that like he wants to bring the point across that yes, you can be concerned for what is happening. You know, you can be concerned what is happening in your favorite game. You have the you vote with your wallet, what not with your mouth, right? So people will say like vote with your wallet, not with your mouth. If I turned around and I didn't buy the game, and 10 million people didn't buy the game, and it was the worst selling COD of all time, they would be forced to look at that and go, why didn't this game sell? And then they look at the community feedback. But all the time their pockets are being lined, they don't care. But I know so many people that will never buy a COD game again because it's just gone down such a steep hill, you know, that nobody wants to see it. And again, the controversial return of Gobblegum in Black Ops 6 Zombies. He makes a very valid point that, and he makes he makes multiple valid points. And like, I agree with Milo. Milo is right. Okay. Milo is 100% correct that, you know, the game is in trouble. It is fundamentally from the get-go in trouble, and that is true. You know, the controversial return of Gobblegum and Black Ops 6 Zombies. Everybody knows. Everybody knows that it's coming back, but it could be troublesome. And he just tries to highlight the points. But again, he's a content creator. It's if he made a video, right, saying Black Ops 6 maybe good, maybe bad. Nobody's gonna watch it, you know? He's saying that it could be good, could be bad. You know? He could say that. Anybody could say that, right? Anyone could say that the game is going to be good or it's going to be bad. But he makes a video saying he could have the good video, right? He could have a good principle of the video. But the minute that he titles it and thumbnails it wrong, the video's dead on arrival. You know, he at the end of the day, he's a content creator. He needs to be able to make money doing what he's doing. And I know he's not strapped for cash, not being funny, but like, nobody has a fucking Rolex on, you know, who doesn't have money. I think it's a Rolex. Where is it? Yeah, he's clearly doing well for himself. If you look at the dial on the watch, there's red up the top and there's blue down the bottom. 24 grand for a Rolex, right? Unless it's knockoff, that is not, like, he is clearly doing very well for himself. As a content creator, I'm sure he's not short of a few quid. You know, he's living frugally, but he bought himself something nice, right? At the end of the day, he's a content creator. He knows what he's doing. He's just trying to get a point across. And like, people, you know, people are just shitting on him for the sake of shitting on him. But I understand that negativity breeds negativity, and that's what's happened. Is he's spoken about it and he's bred negativity. But like, at the end of the day, like, if I turn around and be like, wow, Black Ops 6, best game ever, nobody's going to fucking watch that. If I turn around and say Black Ops 6 is dead on arrival, or Black Ops 6 is rubbish, you know, like, you know, being very PG here, you know, if I made a clickbait video explaining why, if I made a clickbait video saying good things about the game, but then labeled it negative in the beginning, you're going to watch that because of the thumbnail. You're going to see the thumbnail where he's making a point. He's making himself look assertive. You know, he's right on the ball. Black Ops 6 is in trouble. He's trying to make a point. He's trying to make people aware. There you go. Let me let Milo explain.
Like, you aren't allowed to talk about positives without being called a paid shill, and you aren't allowed to talk about negatives without people saying you're a doom poster or you're whining or you're killing the game, etc. And my response to this was to specifically call out one particular issue, which is that it really doesn't help that people get very protective over the intellectual property and the games and the IP that they like. And so people get really agitated if you critique something that they love, because they sort of transfer that onto themselves as like a personal attack. Like, if I tweeted and said, I don't like Attack on Titan, people would respond to that and they would be like, shut up, Attack on Titan is the best show ever, like, why are you spreading this negativity? Like, people like you are doom posting, you're hurting the game, you're hurting the show, sorry. They feel compelled to defend it because, like, they've associated themselves and their identity with that IP and that thing. And so me saying I don't like it is almost an implicit attack on something that they do like. And that's a real problem online. That's just internet culture in general really suffers from this. Like, people find it really difficult to hear other people say they have different opinions to them and to be okay with that dynamic. Like, to be next to someone that really doesn't like Black Ops 3 and to be like, fair enough, you're a Vanguard Zombies fan. Fair enough, right? That's something that many people just can't do. And I say all this to say that I understand this is challenging, right? I understand that there's stuff in human nature and human psychology that makes this hard. And I understand that you see a video like this, and if you aren't interested in hearing me out, right? If you've got a preconceived notion of what I'm going to say, that I'm going to just like poop all over the game, then sure, this title thumbnail gives you sort of ammunition to, at face value, completely miscontextualize what's being said and actually just be like, Milo's being negative again. But that's why I wrote this massive post in the first place, this entire post here. And that's why I'm making this video now, to be more proactive compared to what I've done in the past. Like, I got asked why I'm even responding in the first place, okay? And I said, I know it seems like a throwaway comment, and I know I could just ignore it, and I need not make this video even. But the problem is that it's my responsibility to set the tone and lead the behavior of this community that, like, I'm building, I'm leading, and I'm working with you guys to build further, right? Like, my audience is something that doesn't belong to me in any ways, but I'm certainly at the head of my audience, right? And if I'm entirely passive, that means I'm failing in that task of leadership. I'm failing. I'm letting the narrative spin away from itself, get away from itself, okay? With previous games, I've sat back and I've allowed the narrative to take on a life of its own, because why should it be on my responsibility, right? Like, I didn't have the worldly view that I might do now. But sadly, that leads to the narrative snowballing, people putting words in my mouth, telling me that I feel ways about things which aren't true, etc. Like, many people think to this day that I hate Black Ops 4. For example, that's one where the narrative really got away
I fucking hate it, but that's just me.
from me. I don't hate Black Ops 4. There's a lot to love in Black Ops 4. Anyway, I can't be bothered to deal with that again this year, and so I'm nipping it in the bud as soon as I can and trying to lead by example. I know it's kind of futile because the internet's the internet, but the least I can do is try, okay? When was the last time you saw a content creator spend this much time simply trying to convey the fact that they're trying to be fair? When did that last happen? I don't know when it did. Certainly in my view, these things are few and far between. And I will leave you here by just saying that it's totally fine that Call of Duty paid for some views on this video. It's totally fine. That's not a problem. Equally, if you don't like my videos and you want me to be only positive and only a paid shill, etc., that's fine too. Not all my content is going to be for everybody. But I would ask, and this is my final message, right, to Reddit and to my comment section and to Twitter and all these, like, wonderful communities of Zombies fans around the world, I would simply ask you, if people say Milo is being blindly negative, or like he's just a hater, or all he does is moan, or those sorts of things, I would really like you to try and engage with those comments and change that narrative. I am tired of it. I'm really tired of it. And so this is my attempt to help set the record straight. And I want you guys to be along with me on the journey there. Not to say Milo's the most positive person in the world, but simply to say that I'm trying to be fair. Okay? That's what I'm trying to get out there.
And it's totally correct. He is trying to be fair. He is trying to highlight the positives and the negatives, you know, and that's fair. But, like, again, I feel like his points have been made, and people need to really understand sort of like where he's coming from, how he understands it, and again, kind of think outside the box a little bit, you know. Again, I just feel like this needed to be responded to and kind of like reinforced a little bit. Like, I know obviously I don't need to be the tongue up his ass, and like people are going to interpret that I'm the tongue up his ass. Like, I'm not the tongue up his ass. It's a 55-minute recording, just basically me trying to explain and say, like, he is correct. Everything that he has said is correct, and everything that he is trying to convey across to people is correct. He is very fundamentally true in what he is saying. All because people are taking it the wrong way or misinterpreting how he's trying to explain stuff does not validate the right for people to try and shit on him and invalidate how he feels and how it all carries along. You know, like, I don't like Black Ops 4, but I'm not going to sit there and push that opinion on people. I just think it's a bad game. You know, it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't trash on Black Ops 4, but that's part of my shtick. You know, like, that's just all it is. You know, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Yeah, I hope to obviously make more content surrounding Black Ops 6. Hopefully we get some more news drop soon. If more news does drop soon, I will be able to make more content about it. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and I will see you guys later on. Let me comment down below if you do obviously want to talk about more. I might be able to make more videos explaining and going through stuff as well. So obviously, you know. Well, that's been me. I'll see you guys.